All right, so this is an 83-year-old man. He had had a previous mitral clip, and we got the result we wanted, and like the case you saw earlier, we had actually decided to close it. We closed it with an ASD, but unfortunately, he continued to have quite a bit of symptoms and follow-up with recurrent MR. So being the person I am, I thought, well, I'll just go around the other occluder device and do another mitral clip. And you can see here the occluders, as you all know, is really easy to see on fluoro, and I try to find a spot basically posterior to the device because we obviously want more height than less height. And I'm poking around here and the echo doc can't find me. And we try, and I actually stopped and then had Richard come in and do the images as well. And he said, no, I still can't find you. And he got this image, which was beautiful, and this shows why they couldn't find me, even though I thought I was on the septum outside the occluder. I was actually over here in this no person's land. You don't want to be over here. There's no atrial septum here. This is the posterior wall. And I was actually trying to puncture in this area, which would have been lethal. And this is only seen on this 3D view, which is quite nice. So we looked at this, well, what now? And this is one of those moments where your team starts to question your clinical judgment. Because I said, well, why don't we just go through your occluder? And Linnell, who's here in the audience, I believe, looked at me and like, what? What are you talking about? So this is what we did. Here's the RF. This is the Baylis catheter, and we're trying to burn through this Amplatzer occluder. There are a few short circuits, as you might imagine, when you touch metal to cautery, and Adam can talk about that. So a few short circuits, but eventually we got through and we passed the Baylis and the transeptal needle across. So now we have a inaway wire up here near the pulmonary vein. Here, this is a nice view of it. And we knew we were going to have to dilate this because there's no way 24-French mitral clip SGC is just going to go straight through this. So we started dilating. We started with various peripheral balloons. And, for whatever reason, I thought, well, 24-French should just be able to use an 8mm balloon because, right, 8 times 3 is 24, right? But that didn't work. So we went 8, and then couldn't get the SGC across, so 10, 12, 14, 16, and then finally 18. And it was actually an 18mm balloon that allowed us to get things across. And so here's the SGC finally going through across with a lot of wiggle and a lot of sweat as we were doing the procedure. So we go in and we do the clip procedure, which was really uneventful. And then now we have here this nice shunt that's through the occluder device. As you can see here, these are just some views showing the guide through here during the procedure. And here, and we're all done, right? No, so not quite. So he comes back, and so this is a difficult occluder case I got done, but actually the most straightforward part is actually closing this because he complained of symptoms and follow-up, and this is a nice view here. You can look. Here's the ASD, and I chose an AVP2 because I really wanted to make sure that the waist was smaller than the retention disc. I really didn't want to run the risk of embolizing, and this is drastically oversized. So if you see this waist, which is really elongated. This means that you've chosen an occluder way too big, and then I took this out, put a new one in, and you can see this is much flatter and it sits much better. So. Key points here, Amplatzer occluders, they can be recrossed, but now I'll never use one after a mitral clip. Cardioform or something like it that makes it a little bit easier to cross will be my preferred device in the future. So thank you very much.